Greetings, my fizztastic friends! I'm Dr. Fizzlebop, and I'm ecstatic you've joined me here at Fizzlebop Labs, where faith meets science. We have a wondrous, yet super simple experiment today we call rain clouds. You see, I was just reading one of my favorite Bible stories, Noah's Ark, and I'm always struck by how God used rain clouds to bring rain and flood the earth, then a rainbow to signal the end of the flood. Rain clouds, rain, rainbow. I think that's what you call alliteration. However, I'm more of a science guy than a grammar guy, yet I do surprise myself on occasion. Anyhow, we're going to learn about rain clouds and rain in this experiment. And our next experiment will focus on rainbows. Best of all, we'll get to spend double the time with the faithful Noah and his family, and that wondrous engineering marvel, the Ark. So let's make haste and begin. Gather your fellow scientists, friends, and family. Today, I'm joined by my fellow Fizzlebop scientist, Declan! First, we need to gather a few supplies for our experiment. We'll read the Fizzlebop supply list and show you the items. And then, if you want, pause the video to go gather your supplies. I promise Declan and I will wait right here until you come back and push play. The items in the Fizzlebop supply list will create one rain cloud. So, if you have several scientists like we do, be sure to get supplies for each person. You'll need one 16-ounce or 480 milliliter mason jar per person, 1.5 cups or 360 milliliters of water per person, a can of shaving cream, and here's a fizz tip for you. White works best so that the colors show up well. You also need food coloring, at least 2 colors per person. Declan has selected yellow and red because what color do they make, Declan?
Orange.
And I have selected blue and green because they make a really cool teal color. You'll also need an eyedropper or pipette if your food coloring is not squeezable. If you need to gather supplies, right now is a magnificent time to pause the video to conduct, which means to do, that activity. Now it's time for some fizztastic science fun. Are you ready for the experiment? Declan, are you ready? Awesome. To start, we're going to pour 1.5 cups or 360 milliliters of water into each jar. So let's get 1.5 cups. There we go. You want to pour that in your jar? Fantastic. 1.5 cups of water for me. Next, we're going to take our shaving cream and we're going to squirt a light layer on top of the water, covering the surface completely. Now, let the shaving cream cloud expand and stiffen like a billowing thunderhead. Next, choose your first color of food coloring and squirt several droplets in the same location on the cloud. Which color do you want to start with? Red? Okay, I'm going to start with green. So we're going to choose a spot on the cloud and we're going to squirt several droplets in that exact same spot. Ready? Perfect, exactly. Repeat this step with your next color at a different point on the cloud's top surface. Okay, observe as the colorful downpour begins inside of your container. Fizz tip, your cloud is thick. You may need to add more drops of food coloring in the same location or wait longer. Well, that was fantastic. We've made a rain cloud and it's raining in our jar. Well, the shaving cream cloud is light and airy. It has low density, like a real cloud. But when we add the food coloring droplets, which have a higher density, we're adding extra weight that our shaving cream cloud can't hold. So the droplets fall to the bottom of the cloud and pour out like rain. Isn't science neato, magnificent, and even wondrous? Yes? You can visit fizzlebop.com for more faith and science fun, experiments, and ways to connect with me, Dr. Fizzlebop, and your fellow scientists here at Fizzlebop Labs. Thanks for your help today, Declan. Stick around for a fizztastic look into the Bible next. Remember how your shaving cream cloud expanded bigger and bigger at first? Can you imagine if a rain cloud grew and grew and grew, and then it started to rain and rain and rain, so much rain that it filled the entire world? That's the beginning of the story of Noah, a story with a lot of rain and a really big ark. Take a few minutes and read Genesis 6:9 through 7:24. You can pause the video while you read. I'll be right here when you're done. In the story, everyone in the world was rejecting God. Everyone except Noah and his family. They had faith and they still worshiped God. Because of this, God entrusted Noah with an extraordinary task: to start the world over again. Not only did God entrust Noah, but Noah had to trust God. And though everyone mocked Noah and his family for following God's plan to build a massive ark, Noah believed what God had told him, and his family was saved. There will be moments in your life where following God's teaching will be difficult, or maybe it won't even make sense. Studying science reminds me of the truth of who God is. I see the intricacy of His design when I look at a cell under a microscope, or observe a honeybee as it flies from flower to flower. And I know He will never let me down because God is always working in the lives of those who trust Him. Trusting God is just the beginning of the story, both yours, mine, and Noah's. And we have a second Noah-related experiment coming up. Because what do you get when the sun comes out after the rain? A rainbow. As you ponder, which means to think, about the experiment and devotional, take a moment to answer these questions or discuss with your fellow scientists. What did you notice about the pattern of your rainfall? With what task did God trust Noah? Have you had to trust God with something complicated or almost unbelievable? If yes, what was it? In your prayer time, take a moment and talk about a time when you had to make a big decision, perhaps one that seemed in opposition to what the world around you said was right. And then praise God for giving you and your fellow scientists the courage and strength needed for that decision. I hope you've had as fizztastic of a time as I have here at Fizzlebop Labs. I'm Dr. Fizzlebop, and until our next experiment, remember, our amazing creator is ecstatic about you, and he will always be here for you.